Never sure about the validity of it. All right, guys, it's 1 p.m. here in Twilight Zone, Old Peking. So I'm back in I'm back in Beijing. Yeah, that's what it is. And it's actually the second day back in Beijing. I got back yesterday or the day yesterday, I think. Or maybe it was the day before. Maybe I slept all day yesterday, and that's why I feel a little bit out of sorts. But I am back in Twilight Zone Old Peking. We're back from a long journey now, long trip. How long was I gone anyway? So I haven't live streamed in quite a while. I've been getting messages from Monsieur Tiedrick, Miss Mary Moon, even got a message from Chris and from Sandra Sue. So thank you for the messages, guys, and thank you for your patience. Because I was on the road, I tried to live stream a couple of times while I was on the road, and I found that it didn't work at all. And I'll tell you a little bit about that, the reason why I have been so inactive on uploading videos and live streaming. I'll just give you a brief account of the couple of times that I tried to do it and what happened. So one of the times I tried, it actually worked, but it was after I had sat there for like nearly probably close to 2 hours trying to get it to connect, and it just never connected. And then finally it connected, and it was erratic. And after streaming, I got back in and I watched it, and it dropped a bunch of the video. And I thought, well, this is just horse shit. I'm not going to do this. I was able, I think, successfully twice in a 2 week period. I think I was able to successfully live stream. Then I was doing shorts, and the shorts sometimes would upload pretty quick, like within a couple of minutes, but sometimes it would stall out. And like I have three stalled on my account right now. Don't know why. They were totally innocuous, benevolent. What's the word I'm looking for? Inoffensive content. And they just stalled out. And like one time it took like 3 hours for a 30-second short to upload. And another time it took a really, really long time and my phone was heating up and stuff. And I thought, well, I'm just not going to battle with this all of the time in order to stay connected. And we had gotten through about, I think we had 2 or 3 days on the 100-day magical challenge by the time I went off into Happy Land and started my trip. So, welcome to day 19, right? There's been a few days of intermittent breakups on the transmissions, but we're back in the capital, back in Twilight Zone, Old Peking, right dead center of the Kingdom of the Celestial Dragon. Frank Monday coming at you on a Monday. I think it's a Monday night for anybody who might be tuning in. However, I do know you guys are out there in Happy Land, and chances are you'll probably miss the transmission because the timing's bad. I didn't sleep in today, but there's been so many tasks that I have to address that it wasn't convenient to live stream. Yeah. So as you know, I like to live stream and I do it as a hobby. Uh However, it's not an obligation, right? I'm not doing it as a full-time job. I've never made a dime off of YouTube. There's been a few donations out there from various folks in Happy Land that I would like to say thank you for and show my appreciation and gratitude. That's awesome. I'm building towards a goal. So if you do have the ability to make a one-time coffee purchase, right? There's www.buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. That's where you can make a one-time donation to the channel. Wow, that okay, yeah. So that's where you can do that, and I'll let you know that that helps out the channel. Like it's helping me build towards a goal. And if you do appreciate the transmissions or you appreciate the content I put on the channel, please do that. We're deep in it these days, man. And I was watching a guy. I got a new channel recommend for you guys. If you're missing the old Frank Monday live streams, there's a guy that is really clever, quite an interesting fellow, and he broadcasts I think once or twice a week. Seems like once a week, but he's been doing it for a little more than a year now, and he's already got I think 9 or 10,000 people subbed, and he's a bit of a character, bit of a big shot in the academia, and he's interesting to listen to it, and he's connecting dots and putting the pieces of the puzzle together on what's going on with us right now. So I'll tell you his name, and you can check him out if you're interested. He's got I think 2 or 3 channels on the internet, on the boob tube. He calls it the tube you. We will tube you. Uh, so his name is Professor Hamamoto. That's the name of his channel. Let me write it down for you and spell it out. Let's see if I can do this. Professor Professor Hamamoto Hamamoto. All right, so hopefully you can read my penmanship, my cursive here. So there it is there. And I went on a deep dive into Professor Hamamoto's material. As soon as I got back to Beijing, I discovered this guy. And I'll tell you the way I discovered him. Interesting. Um, I was looking for Freeman Fly. So you guys may know of Freeman Fly. He's had a channel for years now, probably close to 20 plus years. And he did TV, like broadcast television back in the day. And he's kind of a quirky dude. And he's always looking for the paranormal and encountering the paranormal. And he decodes Freemasonry and the occult. And so a very interesting convergence of material and energy around Freeman Fly, and he's been around for a long time. But he got basically removed from the internet. He got deleted from the internet. He's done a few interviews on Alex Jones. In fact, I think him and AJ used to do television together back in the early days. We're talking like mid '90s when Freeman, I think, was just a kid. I think he's probably about the same age as me, maybe a little older. So I'm 47, 48, and I think he's 56, something like that. So we're real close in age, but he's a bit of almost a generation older than me. Not quite. So there's not quite a generation gap there. He's kind of like one of the older dudes that I might have followed around when I was a kid, right? So I was listening to Freeman Fly, and he had Professor Hamamoto on his channel, and I was listening to Professor Hamamoto, and I was like, "Damn, this guy's hard hitting, intellectual, eloquent, well versed in all of his major of study is like pop culture, but he takes an angle on it that he calls, what does he call it? Cultural forensics. And that's like his trademarked term, cultural forensics. And I got in and I watched about 10 of his videos. They're each an hour long transmission. He does live streams, and they're quite polished, quite well set up. There is a bit of a rambling. There is a bit of, because they're live and they're not scripted, but he does keep. I can tell that he's checking his points. So he does a lot of preparation before his live streams, and he's really a lot of fun to listen to. He's got something he developed for his doctoral thesis is called New World Order theory. So he kind of filters everything through what he calls a New World Order theory. But there's no way for me really to give you the synapse of everything that he's presenting. But he basically like picks apart all of the events in recent modern history, like post-war culture, post-war society. So everything like from around and prior to World War II, and then kind of everything after it, and all the events and people, personalities, and ideas that are formulating around the New World Order and the drive for Swissies, the Swiss Nazis, the guys who developed LSD and the atomic bomb and all of that happy horse shit. So it's a very interesting thing to listen to. So just definitely check him out, Professor Hamamoto. Tell him Frank Monday sent you, of course. If you do take that recommendation and you watch his videos and you appreciate the content and you leave a comment on one of the probably shoot for leaving a comment on one of the more recent videos, then definitely say, hey, I heard about you, Professor Hamamoto, on Frank Monday's channel, because I'd like to get an interview on his channel. He has specifically said that he would like to talk to people in mainland China that live here and have been on the ground doing the boots on the ground, doing the work in order to bring the message forward to the Chinese people, that message, that great message of spirit, and to figure out what's going on over here in the day to day, the throes, the grips of the New World Order. And so I'm your Huckleberry, Professor Hamamoto. If you're out there, if you can hear me, if you ever see this recommendation video, then know that I'm an LA boy. I'm an Angelino. I was actually born in Downey Community Hospital, but I grew up in North Long Beach. My dad was naval intelligence. He was a World War II guy. He was born back at the start of the 20th century, so 1920s. He was kind of kicked out of his house when he was really young, joined the Navy at like 15, fought through World War II and the Korean conflict, and had innumerable stories to tell me about, Navy life and all that happy horse shit as a boy. Um, I was attracted to Tinseltown as a young man growing up in LA and wanted to get into the Hollywood scene, and he wouldn't let me do it because he said they were all pedophiles and cokeheads and decadent. And so I know a little bit about that. I was in LA till I was in my 20s, and then I actually went to the rural South to pursue higher education at university and study literature. I got a master's in English literature, and then I came to China. It's my lifelong dream, being influenced by Chinese culture at a young age in LA, Chinatown. I was naturally attracted to it, the characters, the culture, the architecture, everything around it. These days they would call it cultural appropriation, but when I was a kid, it was just known as adoration and interest, curiosity in a culture other than your own. And so I had free reign to um, to study that, and as a result, I took Chinese kung fu, calligraphy, dance, Chinese painting, and I've developed a real strong affinity and love of Chinese Taoism. So Lao Tzu, Chuang Tzu, Mo Tzu, all of those. So I came to Tsinghua University here in Twilight Zone, Old Peking, and as a research student, worked towards a PhD in Asian Studies, and I've been here ever since. That was back in 2001 to 2005, approximately. I was at Tsinghua, and so like yourself, I wouldn't call myself a scholar because I don't have much published, but I'm definitely interested in research, and I am a Googler, though. I'm of the Google generation. Not anymore, of course. Hey there, what's going on? Amber was just asking about you.
The police station is strange. Yesterday I went there. There was even no police. I mean, visiting.
Okay. How about today?
And then today they gave me a call. The head of the police, one of the head of the police, they said, "Oh, how's everything? And if you want to come over to do your alibi or whatever, you can come over." I said, "Of course I'm not happy with what you have done."
Anyway,
But what you didn't do it well, you guys didn't do
any
anything.
result?
I need to go there. I need to drive the book box to the police to no 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 to the forest dealer shop
Okay,
to
Amber was asking about you.
and see how much
Check
they
in with
would
Amber.
see how much they would it would cost, and then
I think whatever it is, it's not going to be cheap because it's a fairly expensive car, and then matching that paint is really hard to do. That's the biggest problem is matching the paint. Anyway, the guilty party should have to pay. It's not something we should overlook.
Not overlooking.
I'm just saying.
You don't like it's funny, but did you smoke a lot this morning?
No, not at all.
How many smoked?
Like one or two.
Yes,
I just woke up.
I tried to call the traffic police. Traffic police said, "Oh, if this is yesterday, you can't. I can't go to
Don't.
the spot. Then you have to come to us. Both parties have to come to us."